Good morning, welcome to GrainTV. It's October 16th, 2012. I'm Logan Burgess. Joining me to my right is Brock Shimano. Well, Brock, it looks like we have grains taking a bounce here today after 2 sharp days of selling. If we jump into fire tip right now and see how the trade in Chicago is panning out, as you can see here, we have corn, soybeans, and wheat all moving higher. We have right now soybeans, the leader to the upside, up about 20 cents there on the November contract. If we take a look at the dollar index, losing quite a bit of ground here today, that seems to be supporting crude oil, gold, really commodities in general. If we take a look at outside markets, we had very positive earning reports out from a number of large companies this morning. Not a huge story there, but in general right now it looks like things are going to move higher and close higher here today. One fundamental piece of news that we got yesterday afternoon, Brock, was crop progress and condition. What are we kind of looking at there?
Same story as we've known all season long. Harvest for corn is actually continuing to progress at that record pace, 79% complete nationally. Last year we were only 42% complete, and the 5-year average is about 38% complete. So we're quite a bit ahead of where we were last year and the 5-year average. Soybeans, similar story. We have fallen below the record pace of 2010 for soybean harvest, but we are at 71% complete. Last year we were about 64%, and the 5-year average is about 58%. Let's take a look at the charts that we've been following all harvest season long. If you take a look here, you can see that the red line, the national average for this year, we're about 79%, like I said earlier. The 2010 record pace was that blue line, so we're well above that, and then where we should be this year is that green line. You know, some numbers I'd like to point out, and some of the reason why we actually did fall a little bit lower than what we should be at this time in this season's progress. You know, out east in the Eastern Corn Belt, they've been having some harvest delays. Ohio's only 31% complete. Right. Michigan's only 36% complete. So they have a little bit of catching up to do out there. I don't think it's a big deal at this point. They should get a window of opportunity this weekend to get some of that harvest progressed along nicely. Right. So I don't think it's a big concern, but they are having a little bit slower harvest progress out there. If you take a look at soybeans harvest, you can see here that we have fallen behind that 2010 record pace, the blue line. The red line is where we're at this year, but we are still ahead of where we were last year and the national average. So harvest is starting to get towards the end of what we're doing here domestically. Internationally, I know you have some news on what's going on in South America.
Yeah, Brock, well, we are kind of putting this crop to bed here for 12-13 here stateside. If we turn our attention, though, South America is going to remain huge in this market here moving forward. It sounds like things in Brazil right now are progressing very well, and specifically right now, planting is underway in Argentina and Brazil, and the soil moisture in Argentina in particular sounds like it's right now off to a great start. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Argentina is a huge exporter of corn here on the world market. One thing that we're excited about moving forward is that we're going to be working with the people down at the Buenos Aires Grain Exchange to bring reports from the field right to you guys here on GrainTV. So we're very excited about that here moving forward, and keep an eye on that keep an eye out for that on GrainTV here moving forward. You know, one thing, Brock, we took a look at the soybean technicals yesterday. There's some really interesting chart patterns showing up there. What are we kind of looking at for corn right now?
Yeah, if we turn to our attention to corn on the daily chart here for December, you can see we've had quite a run up since early in the summer when we started to have those yield concerns and the production concerns here domestically. We hit a high in early September. We started to sell off ever since then on demand concerns for the most part. And more recently, the last couple of sessions, we've sold off sharply from those that large run up that we saw last Thursday with the USDA reports coming out. Right. So, you know, I'm kind of looking at this picture. It kind of looks like we're on stable ground right now. You know, I'm kind of anticipating a sideways trade in corn. You know, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Brock, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see kind of sideways trade here. One area that I'm going to be watching closely on the downside here is 705. If we take a look right now, that is the 38% retracement here. And that's also kind of the lows that we've printed after peaking out here in the middle of the summer. So I think if we're able to trade through there, it's going to really be confirmation for those bears out there that this corn market is moving lower. The demand is simply not there, and the production situation out of the U.S. isn't going to get any worse. It's in the bag at this point. So that's a price level I'm going to be watching closely there. I don't see a lot of fundamentals that are going to be pushing this market here higher in the near term. I wouldn't be surprised for kind of a sideways trade here as well. We'll certainly have to keep an eye on that, though, moving forward. I think that kind of wraps up our show here for Tuesday on GrainTV. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.